Nobody likes problems, but have you ever noticed how some problems actually turn out to be something really great? Hi, my name is Tim Bisogno and welcome to MXTV. Have you ever tried to do something that really mattered, something significant, something bigger than yourself, and once you started, all you got were more problems? You know what, I have a friend, and he went on a mission trip, and he had been away forever, really missed his family, really wanted to get home. So on the way to the airport, he hit some traffic, he ended up missing his plane, and he thought to himself, God, how in the world could you let this happen to me? This problem, I want to get home. Well, he did get home, and he read the paper that next morning. There on the front page, it said that the plane that he was supposed to be on, it had crashed. And every single person on board died. So see, some problems are not problems. You know what? That is a true story. And that friend was my dad. So you see, some problems can be really great. Have you ever had a crush on someone and Well, the problem was they didn't exactly feel the same about you. And then you later discovered that this person was completely psycho. Well, sometimes God will use problems to protect us. And sometimes He'll use problems to build our faith. And sometimes we'll see problems end up being the greatest thing that ever happened to us. You remember that story? Maybe you heard it as a kid. Young teen waylays 10-foot giant with a rock. Well, you might remember the setting of that story. It's David and Goliath. There was a Philistine nation, kind of known as pagans, and they were up against God's people, and they wanted to enslave God's people. The Philistines, they had this guy on their team named Goliath. This dude was 10 feet tall. Check it out. Here's my friend Super Dave, and he's about 5.5 feet tall. Can you imagine? Check that red line out. That's 10 feet. This guy was 16 years old going against that. How would you like to go up against a guy carrying a spear that the tip of the spear weighed 16 pounds? See that bowling ball? Oh, how'd you like to get hit in the head with that? As was the custom back then, instead of two armies going against each other and everybody dying, each team would pick their best guy, and those two guys would go each other. They would fight to the death. And whichever one of those guys won, that particular nation would completely get the entire victory. The problem was nobody wanted to face this freak of nature, Goliath, except for one boy. Between the ages of 15 to 16, he said, "I'll do it." His name was David. So now David had a big problem, Goliath. But what we see here is that once David faced that problem, Goliath became the best thing that ever happened to David. You see, little Dave, he took this giant out with a slingshot and one smooth stone to the forehead. Nobody likes problems. Nobody likes to fight giants, but it's often that God doesn't want us to avoid difficulty, but to rather look at difficulty as an opportunity to watch God show off through you, through the problem.